Taylor Swift's career isn't something that just happened overnight. It unfolded slowly, in real time, right in front of us. And that's what makes it different. We didn't just discover her music. We grew alongside it. Think about it for a moment. There aren't many artists whose songs can mark entire chapters of your life. A first crush, a breakup that hurt more than you expected, a season where you felt misunderstood, a moment when you finally felt at peace again. Somehow, Taylor always had a song waiting. And it all started with a girl who genuinely loved writing. Before the fame, before the headlines, before the debates about her personal life, Taylor Swift was a teenager with a guitar, sitting on her bedroom floor, writing lyrics about what she was feeling in that exact moment. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She wasn't chasing trends. She was telling stories because that's what made sense to her. When she moved to Nashville as a teenager, she wasn't walking into an industry that was ready for her. She had to prove herself. She played small shows. She handed out demos. She learned how the business worked while still figuring out who she was. Her debut album introduced her as someone who wrote from the heart. The songs felt like diary entries you weren't supposed to read, but somehow she invited you in anyway. People connected because it felt real. She sounded like someone you could actually talk to, someone who felt things deeply and didn't try to hide it. That honesty became the foundation of her entire career. When Fearless arrived, everything shifted. Suddenly, her music wasn't just connecting with people, it was reaching them on a massive scale. Love Story and You Belong With Me weren't just popular songs, they became shared experiences. Everyone knew the words. Everyone had a memory attached to them. Winning Album of the Year at such a young age should have been the moment where the world fully embraced her. Instead, it became the moment people started questioning her legitimacy. Critics debated whether she deserved the praise. Some reduced her talent to teenage emotions. Others assumed her success was temporary. Taylor heard all of it, and instead of shrinking, she leaned deeper into her craft. Speak Now was her response, even if she never said it out loud. Writing an entire album alone wasn't about proving a point to the public. It was about trusting herself. Those songs felt more reflective, more mature, more aware of consequences and accountability. You could hear the growth. You could feel the shift. Then came Red, and this is where her music became emotionally complex. Red didn't try to smooth things over. It captured what loving deeply actually feels like when it's confusing, intense, and sometimes overwhelming. The emotions didn't sit quietly. They clashed. They spiraled. They lingered. All Too Well became something bigger than a song. It became a shared emotional language. People didn't just listen to it, they lived inside it. And years later, it still holds that power. This was also the era where Taylor stood at a turning point. Her sound was changing. Her audience was expanding. She could feel herself outgrowing the box she was placed in. And when she stepped fully into pop with 1989, it wasn't accidental. It was intentional. She wasn't running from her past. She was building on it. 1989 showed confidence. It showed awareness. Songs like Blank Space weren't confessions, they were commentary. She took the narrative that had been forced on her and flipped it into something smart and self-aware. The success was massive. The praise was everywhere. But the pressure was too. As her fame grew, the scrutiny intensified. Every move was analyzed. Every relationship became a headline. Eventually, the public perception shifted. Support turned into criticism. Admiration turned into mockery. The backlash that followed wasn't gentle. It was loud and relentless. Taylor withdrew, not because she had nothing to say, but because she needed to survive the noise. When she returned with Reputation, it wasn't about pleasing anyone. It reflected where she was mentally and emotionally at that point in her life. Guarded, wiser, less interested in approval. The music sounded different because she was different. That era reminded people that she wasn't fragile. She was adaptable. Lover marked another shift. It felt lighter, more open, more settled. It reflected a version of Taylor who had learned how to protect her peace. The themes focused on love, self-acceptance, and emotional balance. It wasn't loud about it, but it was honest. Then the world slowed down, and Taylor did something unexpected again. Folklore arrived quietly, but its impact was anything but small. This album showed what happens when storytelling takes center stage. The lyrics felt cinematic. The emotions felt layered. It wasn't about her personal life in the same way. It was about perspective, imagination, and human connection. Evermore continued that exploration, proving that this wasn't a one-time experiment. She had reached a level of artistic confidence where she trusted her instincts completely. At this point, Taylor Swift wasn't just an artist releasing music. She was shaping conversations around songwriting, ownership, and creative control. Her decision to re-record her albums wasn't driven by nostalgia. It was driven by principle. She turned a painful business situation into an empowering movement. Fans didn't just support it because they loved her music. They supported it because they understood the message behind it. Ownership matters. Voices matter. Stories matter. Midnights brought her back into the center of pop culture once again, but this time with a calm sense of certainty. She didn't need to prove she belonged. She already knew. The era's tour became more than a tour. It became a celebration of longevity, of growth, of evolution. Different sounds, different versions of herself, all coexisting in the same space. That's what makes Taylor Swift's career so compelling. She never stayed frozen in one moment. She allowed herself to change, even when people resisted it. Her success isn't built on perfection. It's built on reflection, resilience, and storytelling. She let people see the messiness, the mistakes, the healing, and the joy. And maybe that's why so many people feel connected to her music, because it mirrors real life. It doesn't rush the process. It honors every phase. So when people ask why Taylor Swift still matters after all these years, the answer is simple. She didn't just make songs for a moment. She made music for a lifetime. If this video resonated with you, take a second to like it, subscribe to the channel, and share your favorite Taylor Swift era in the comments. I'd love to know which chapter of her story felt like yours. Welcome to the Gossip Empire.